Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, thank you very much for joining me. I wanted to talk about a few things in this video. It was integration and the releasing anger and the inability to see your own behavior, even for me, and we're going to cover that in this particular video. Subconscious anger and masks from the personality construct. So I've been talking to a friend, recent friend, and we talked for hours and hours and hours, and we're talking about all these different things, and so we're discussing something, and it basically came down to, hey, were you, do you really want to know what's going on? And we're talking about different things, and we're talking about health, and sometimes energetically I feel pretty compressed, and that I feel trapped, or I feel like I'm recognizing that I'm in some kind of pattern. And he's like, well, so we're digging into it, and he's like, well, do you want to know what's really going on? I'm like, absolutely, I am kind of sick of this process. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I give you permission, you can tell me what's going on. I'm a big boy, and I'm pretty good at integrating things when they're finally presented to me. He's like, well, you have some subconscious anger toward this and that, and so I'm like, okay, that sounds about right. And what it ended up, a lot of things happening were not having like freedom, personal freedom, being sick for like 20 years, and coming out of it, and then coming out of it during a time that my mom needed a great amount of care, and knowing that I was going into the light, and feeling that I should go ahead and get some things done for myself, and subjugating a lot of things that I was going to do for myself, and staying in poverty so that I could actually help her get packed and get moved and stay well so that she could survive that process. And now that we're here and everything is unpacked, well, not everything, but it's all situated. Everything is situated. They're self-sustainable, they can get things done. They won't get them done quite as fast as they would with me, but obviously they don't need to have 24/7 care. So the decisions were basically, hey, let's go ahead and you can go ahead and go to work and get some things done and start building up your finances. Hey, yay! But when I try to do that, it's still, hey, can you go here with me? Can you do this? And it's like, it's constantly every day. I'm like, you have to recognize that you've given up a full-time caregiver, and that you need to be able to get a lot of those things done yourself, and that you're going to need to spend a lot more time by yourself. And that I can't do that 24/7 for a couple different reasons. A, it's not healthy to be there all the time. It was an emergency. It was a stopgap measure. The things that needed to be done got done in the time that they needed to be done. But to subjugate all the things that I would want to get accomplished at this point in time, and as a higher self on a higher level, there's this urge to get these things done and to get myself situated and self-sustainable, because there's great excitement in the things that are happening in our shift. And there's a lot of things I want to get accomplished, and it does take money to get some of these things accomplished. Well, it doesn't always take money. Okay, I'll rephrase that. Some of the things I'd like to do, you could accomplish any of them, and they can come easily and quickly. But having a financial base is nice, because money is still a collective agreement, and it is nice to have money in the bank and be able to do these things, but it's not a requirement to do the things I want to do. It is another permission slip, as it is with any permission slip. So it given me great insight, and while we're on the phone, we did some EFT, and we went through the EFT process, and we're doing all of that one. I'm studying, and I'm getting some of this information out, and we've been talking for hours, like 3.5 hours at the end of this call. He's like, oh, what do you think, and this and that, and he's asking questions. I'm like, oh, and I had snacked and whatnot, so it wasn't really so much a blood sugar issue as that, I had released so much. I was bringing in the Bashar threshold of believability tools in my mind. I started to grind things down. I'm going, hey, shenanigans, personality construct is tricking me. What the hell is going on? And so he kind of recognized it. I'm like, and we've been talking for hours and hours, and B, we just did some wicked energetic work, and So, we got off the phone, and it's like 4:35, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And so I literally, all I could do to be anywhere near in the way of productive is to go to bed. So I slept from like 5 to 8:30, and there was great integration. I got up and I ate, and I did a few things, and I sat on the computer and got some work done that needed to be done for some clients, and watched something really short on TV that was of interest to me, a documentary, and went to bed. And I woke up, and I felt great integration, and I wasn't in the same mindset that I was before. And when I did wake up, when I was a little off during the course of the night, I did a little bit more EFT, and I was like, ooh. So that did a lot of adjustment and getting better energy flow in the body so that the mind can actually stay synchronized into the positive. And on that day, we were talking about many things, and he was like, so, we had talked before. He's like, have you ordered some of the stuff we talked about for some of the things that you felt would be useful for some of the health challenges you might have had? And I'm like, I haven't ordered those yet, but they're on the list, and definitely some of the next things that I'll be ordering. And he's like, okay, it's a little procrastination. What's going on there? I'm like, no, this is finance. They're not in the budget that I have laid out for those types of things. It's like, not in the place to order those right now. He's like, oh, why didn't you say so? I'm like, I don't know, ego, manifestation, maybe I wanted to see about manifesting it myself. I'm not quite sure. You didn't ask either. So, like you're asking now. So, who knows which one of those it was? Well, who knows which one of those it was? He's like, well, okay, well, what if I were to order those for you and to send those to you? Would you accept that? I'm like, I absolutely would accept that. Thank you very much. So he did order some things, and he's sending them to me, having them sent to me directly. So that was very nice, and I thank you very much, because I know you watch these things. So I would say today things are a lot looser, a little bit more free and easy, and at the same time, I would say that finances have opened up a little bit. I have an old web client that popped up and said, hey, I want to get some things done, and I was doing some monthly maintenance for them the other day, and I said, this is looking a little outdated, and I know I've mentioned that, but I know you just got married, and you did this and that and the other thing, you have a baby on the way, so you might want to think of some updated types of things, and I sent them. And today they're like, yeah, that sounds good. And we were talking for a couple hours, trying to get some strategy and what to do and set up some different payment options and teach him a little bit of marketing and set up a strategy. And he's like, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I want to send you some money. I'm like, okay, well, that we can definitely do. So he sent a few $100s as a down payment to start getting things rolling. And so money loosened up today, and I have other contracts that are open that are not yet won, that are quite a possibility. But what I was thinking today and last night when I was up, I actually was thinking and had feedback that I can be very scattered and I can do all these different things at once, but you don't always get a lot done when you do that, and I do enjoy an eclectic amount of things, but I was thinking, what in these things are in my highest excitement? And there was something that wasn't in the highest part of my excitement, so I have some marketing mechanisms that are out there to draw leads for this, and I basically deleted all of it and just wiped it out. I'm like, that isn't the most exciting thing to me, and I'm just not going to go ahead and do that. And that seemed to energetically free up some space for money for things that are a lot more exciting, because I sat for hours today updating this website and getting things done and doing some search engine marketing for him and getting things ready. So that's a great lesson to follow your highest excitement, or to the most exciting thing that you can do. These other things that have a high potential for income, very, very high potential for income in the thousands and tens of thousands, but they're just not quite as exciting. And I think money will come in the most synchronous way possible when you clear the energetics of the space. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm just going to clear the energetics of the space, and I'm going to trust that what needs to come when it needs to come will come. And so some money came in today, and energetics, I'm working through the processes of these things. I'm not quite as angry. And I didn't really feel anger before. It was a lot of subconscious anger, but I don't feel energetically compressed. And I don't have, maybe, when something comes up, maybe with my mom, if she asks some questions or does this and that, there's no issues around that. There's not like, you're making me crazy type of energy. It's more loving and recognizing her for what she is and what's going on at this point in time. So, great amount of integration, and I look forward to the days to come for more and more types of integration. And thank you again for the person that was that recognized this and said, "Yo, you want me to tell you what's going on?" Because I think that would be helpful for you. So thank you for joining me. That's my personal story for integration, and I think will be helpful for others. That you need other people to help. And recognize those behaviors and make suggestions, because it is very difficult to do yourself. Even, with all the tools I have and all the stuff that's in my head, unable to recognize my own behaviors, because that's what they're there for, is that they're constructed to mask themselves. The ego is there to keep the illusion alive. It has to be able to have a unique life experience in the physical body. So, thank you very much for joining me. Again, this is Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching life, spiritual, and business. And I thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe.